You're CMO of Sage. So let's talk a little bit about Sage for people who aren't familiar with the company, kind of a little bit about its history and also the history of the brand.
Sage is primarily a small and medium-sized business brand. Long history, about 30 years, and doing it across a lot of different kinds of technology that we like to call from a startup phase of a company all the way through to maybe going into mid-size. Okay. So what we're really talking about is what sort of accounting and financials you might need, what sort of payroll or payments you might need to take into account, and then all the way into, you know, when you do start to get big, do you need enterprise resource planning? Do you need CRM? You know, what really is going to help you manage your business most effectively?
So you're new into this role.
Absolutely.
As CMO.
Very new.
You're 7 months in.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about sort of what your charge was in coming on board and sort of, you know, generally speaking, what your goals are for the company and for the brand.
Absolutely. Sage is what I would call, because we've been around for so long, looking to take its brand into the next generation. You know, when you're talking about small to mid-sized companies, you're really talking about a brand that has a legacy set of customers that have aged with it. What happens to that brand as you try to innovate and change? Who do you need to talk to as the next generation, and how do you keep the brand fresh moving forward? You know, when I was brought on, it was how do we keep the values and the passion that have really brought us here and extend those into a new generation, into new areas that keep us relevant for small businesses and that really keep us exciting as a brand.
How do you stand out? It's a competitive market.
Huge.
And getting more competitive as, frankly, companies that historically were focused on large businesses have morphed and moved into the small and mid-sized business market.
Primary thing we decided was that we needed to remain true to the passion, to the we want to be the most valuable supporter of small and medium-sized businesses, wherever they are in their stage of business. If they're a startup, if they're kind of growing and looking to grow, or if they're thriving and they just want to continue to thrive. So that entire continuum is something that we feel very, very confident in. It's something that our employees, they come to work every day because a small business value is our value. Their goals are our goals. So having that be part of the brand moving forward was absolutely critical. I think that really the second part is how do we take that energy and that passion and attribute it to a new audience? That really comes from innovation, and we like to call this purposeful innovation. So it can't just be about product. It actually has to be about the ongoing service and value we bring.
Sure.
So bringing an innovation to how we have conversations, what the community is around small and medium-sized businesses, how they can learn from each other, how they can learn from everything that's going on in the political world, you know, the healthcare world, you know, against their own regional community. That's something that we really think is just as important to innovate against. And so we're trying to do that kind of balance on a regular basis.
So you're probably trying to create a context of credibility, if you will.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about the marketing execution. You know, what kind of campaigns do you have going on? What kind of campaigns do you have planned? And sort of, you know, what's the creative look and feel? And sort of what are the modes for getting that message out?
Yeah, it's I like to call it it's a nice blend between traditional marketing discipline and a lot of kind of the risk that comes with new marketing disciplines. You know, there's a lot of part of our customer base that loves emails and that really wants to stay consistent with where are we reading about you in advertising, where are we seeing your communications, and how are we getting communication from you. And then there's the new part of our customer base that's all about social. How are we connecting with you? How are we taking online training? So we're really looking at methods and mediums that allow us to be in all places.
Yep.
But at the same time, again, really reinforce the fact that no matter where you are, we have the right information for you. We have the community available for you. So it's, again, that resonant, consistent view of being the valuable supporter across everything. So the message is clear, the mediums are flexible.